So the Greens have been smeared as anti-Semites again. Fake anti-Semitism campaign group campaign against anti-Semitism. I mean, they're not concerned with anti-Semitism primarily, rather they are a Zionist organisation. They tweeted this: "Our survey reveals that nearly 3/4 of 72% of British Jews think that the Green Party is too tolerant of anti-Semitism among their MPs, councillors, members and supporters." Question: do you feel that any political parties are too tolerant of anti-Semitism among their MPs, councillors, members and supporters? Please select all that apply. And you can see the Conservative Party 22%, the Democratic Unionist Party 21%, and that's where you see the huge spike with the Green Party at 72%, and not far behind is Labour on 71%. Now there's something that I notice about this. The more right-leaning parties have the lowest score, but the more so-called centre-left liberal parties have the higher score. I mean, look at the Liberal Democrats, that's 40%. That's still quite high. The Scottish National Party, 52%. Yet if you look at the Conservatives, the DUP, the UK Independence Party Reform, they have the lowest score. Now, why is that? It's incredibly obvious what's going on here. The more left-wing or centre-left political party you are, you're more likely to criticise Israel than the right-wing parties. So, of course, this is all about Zionism. Now, the Lib Dems, okay, they're not exactly strong on the issue, but they have kind of, like, in terms of rhetoric, said some good stuff-ish. That's 40%. The SNP, with the former leader was Humza Yousaf, who has family in Gaza, and he's been quite strong rhetorically on Israel, and obviously 52% think they're anti-Semitic, which is obviously strange since right-wing politics, historically and, well, today, have more likely leaned into racism, especially historically anti-Semitism has been linked with the right. But of course, in this poll, if you're on the right, you're seen as less anti-Semitic than the left. The only one is Plaid Cymru, they're on 26%, but they're such a small party, no one really knows about them. I'm not surprised why. But generally, you can see the trend. Now, this is what the CAA said along with those graphics. How do British Jews feel about anti-Semitism within political parties? We asked them whether they think any political parties are too tolerant of anti-Semitism. For the first time, the Greens have scored the worst with 72%, almost 3/4 of British Jews saying that they believe the party is too tolerant of anti-Semitism within its ranks. They are closely followed by the Labour Party at 71%, which is still extraordinarily high. For the first time, a third party has crossed the majority threshold, the SNP at 52%. Behind them are Sinn Féin 42%, the Lib Dems 40%, with lower percentages for the Conservatives and others. Even after the EHRC reports, it is outstanding that some parties are being perceived as more tolerant of anti-Semitism. Have lessons been learned? Well, here's one lesson that isn't being learned, is that anti-Semitism is being weaponized, and organizations such as CAA, they don't care because they want pro-Israel policies. Remember, this is perception. Of course, when you had years and years of systematic smearing of the Labour Party under Jeremy Corbyn, people's perceptions of the party was going to change. Then the Greens took in many former Labour members and they declared what Israel was doing in Palestine is a genocide. And guess what? They were smeared. But what's so funny about this is that Labour are still on 71%. So despite the Israel apologism, despite the facilitating of a genocide, purging the party of anyone left-wing or anyone sympathetic with Palestine, it's not changed anyone's view. It was all for nothing. And right now, I don't care. Labour absolutely deserve it. Now check this out. Despite Reform being at the bottom, its leader, Nigel Farage, has made racist comments in the past, including anti-Semitic ones. Nigel Farage under fire over anti-Semitic tropes on far-right US talk show. Jewish groups and MPs condemn Nigel Farage over anti-Semitic dog whistles. Nigel Farage, Jewish lobby has disproportionate power in the US. Now notice he said Jewish lobby and not Israeli lobby because it is anti-Semitic to say Jewish lobby. So why don't CAA rip Reform to shreds? What about the ADL? What about the entire media? I mean, you can't find a quote from the Green Party leadership or Jeremy Corbyn for that matter saying something anti-Semitic. So why are the media quiet? Why don't organisations who supposedly fight anti-Semitism not seem to care? Might it be the fact that Reform are pro-Israel and have attacked pro-Palestinians and ceasefire marches? Of course it is. But you know what? This doesn't work anymore. It worked between 2015 and 2019. But since October 7th, since the ethnic cleansing and genocide of Palestinians, people have woken up to the bullshit. The smallest amount of criticism of Israel gets you labelled an anti-Semite. So it's not going to work anymore. But of course, they're going to try. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoy what we do at Turn Left, please subscribe. We're not too far away from 20,000 subscribers, and that would be a real milestone. Give this video a like, and if you want to see this platform grow into a full media organization, please consider donating to us at turnleftmedia.co.uk/support, and you can become a monthly Patreon member, or there is a link to one-off payments. Any small amount would be incredible. Remember, we also go live on our normal island shows on Monday and Thursdays at 8 p.m. On Saturday, you can watch our casual chill podcast show, The Debrief, and that's also at 8 p.m. Thank you, and see you next time.
Support independent media. Support social justice that's there on social media. Thank you. Turn Left.